Okay guys, so the first thing you're going to want to do is move your wheels all the way in the direction away from the firewall so that you have the space to move and get in with your hands. Now, I thought about taking the tire off, but I really don't think there's a need for that, just to give me more space. And the reason why I'm assuming that is because if you look behind here, let me just get this into focus. There we go. This is basically just a kind of like a light cover. There's not a whole lot to it. And what I'm gonna do is just push it out just a bit. There you go. So see, no damage was done. It's very flexible. It's almost like a real thick fabric actually. And that's gonna allow me to get to where I need to take the Foglight frame off. And what I mean by that is, if I can get in here, there you go. So basically, all right, so you've got your mount up there. There's a one screw, and then you're gonna have one at the bottom, and then you're gonna have one to the far right on that side. I can't get the camera any further in, but that's where it's at. So that's gonna allow us to take off the Foglight bracket. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that next. And again, I'm doing that without having to take the tire off. So let me go ahead and take that off really quick, and then I'll come back once it's off. And for that, guys, I'm just using a Phillips screwdriver, standard. And that's gonna take the 3 screws off, and then we'll go from there. The reason why my fingers are wet, because we've had some rain here and the vehicle's kind of wet in some spots. And there you have it. Okay, and it'll be the same for both sides. Just make sure your wheel's in the opposite position from where you need to work, and then that should give you enough access to get in and take the Foglight mounting bracket off. Okay, so that's how to get that part done. So guys, what I actually decided to do, I didn't think it was going to look that professional the way I was thinking on doing it, which was basically, you know, flattening the back part down and curvature this to the circumference of my frame for the Foglight adapter, the mount on the vehicle. And then with the bolt being put in the center, I just didn't think that was going to look good. So I thought of something else. I'm going to go ahead and grind everything off instead, so it's a perfect round circle, and then that'll be pretty much leaving everything flat. I'll drill the hole into my plastic bumper mount, Foglight mount, so that the wire goes right through. So that'll obviously leave all this flat. And then I bought some 3M really heavy duty double-sided tape, which states it can hold up to 20 pounds. So I'm gonna run one strip down the bottom here, one on the top, and then one in the center, but I'm going to double it right here where that groove's at, so that way it'll actually hold it a lot better. These things are extremely light. I mean, literally, they're just really light. So I don't see how that wouldn't work. That should be just fine. And yeah, I think that's gonna work. So let's go ahead and get that going. I'm gonna go ahead and mute out the video because this is gonna be pretty loud. So here we go. Before I get started, guys, one very important thing: always use safety goggles, especially when you're grinding. So I'd sure hate for something to happen to your eyes, so protect yourself. Let me just give these a clean real quick. They've been out here forever. I don't think I've used these in a while. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. All right. So let's go ahead and put these on. And let's get this going. Okay guys, there's the finished result. Now it's a perfect circumference and it's flat. And then, like I said, all I have to do is drill the hole on my frame that holds the Foglight, the mold, the factory mold. And then with that heavy duty industrial type adhesive tape, 3M tape, that should hold it in place. Like I said, these are extremely light. I can understand if it had a lot more weight to it, but these are so light, they almost feel like plastic, even though it is aluminum. Should be more than enough to hold it. It's rated at 20 pounds, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be just fine. All right. Okay guys, so now that we took the Foglight bracket off the bumper, and we made our measurements as I demonstrated in the earlier. That's going to be for the hole for the wires to the Foglights, and we know which is our top end because we have it. I wrote it right there, top. You might want to do that to keep in mind so you don't drill the hole in the opposite direction or install these backwards. What I mean by that is the Foglight being upside down. So I've already measured, pretty much eyeballing it, whereabouts that that hole needs to be to slide my wire in. So it's going to be about right there. And so let's go ahead and get that going. Hold on. Okay, once we do that, now it's just a matter of feeding the this cable in like so. And there you have it. Let me see if I could fix this real quick. And there you guys have the finished Foglight attachment to the bracket, and see how it lined up pretty good. And then what I'll do is, just for an added bonus, I'll just put some black silicone here, just to make sure it does seal it. Even though I shouldn't have to worry, because these are already waterproof when it comes to the back connector right here. I'll even put a little more there just in case, again, just for added protection. But there you go. So now that's already setting up the light, adjusted to where we need it to. Again, we got rid of that hinge assembly for the bolt, in case you wanted to put that on the light bar. So now it's just a matter of mounting it securely on here, and then running my cables, and then we'll go ahead and go over the wiring setup for my vehicle. Now, if I'm not too happy with how the 3M tape holds, I'll probably just go ahead and use an epoxy, heavy duty industrial glue or something similar. The reason why I don't think the 3M will be an issue is because these are extremely light. I mean, I can't keep saying that enough. These are so light that I don't see how that's going to be an issue. You know, it's not like I'm going to go off-riding with my car. It's basically just for visibility. I'm not going to be, you know, climbing rocks and mountains and whatnot and going to heavy terrain on my vehicle. It's simply just for visibility. I can understand if I was going to be using it for off-roading. Well, yeah, you're going to have a bunch of bumps, and you know, it's just going to real rough terrain that these will probably suffer a lot of vibration and end up falling off. So yeah, again, I'm going to try to 3M, see how it feels. I'm going to try to pull it off once I get it on there to see how much force it has on it. And then if I'm not content with that, I'll go ahead and just do an epoxy. Now, I don't mind using an epoxy, because if I ever have to take these off, I can force them off. They'll obviously come off. And if any damage is done to the Foglight mounting bracket here, they're easily replaceable from the factory. They're not expensive at all, or I can easily fiberglass them and fix it up again. So it's not a big deal for me. So yeah, let's continue on. Okay guys, next we need to, like I said, mount the light. And for that, we've got our Scotch tape here, industrial. Keep in mind guys, if you're gonna go this route, it cannot just be any typical sticky tape. It has to be industrial brand, and in my case I chose one that's rated at 20 pounds. That's how much weight this can handle, or weight if you want to call it that. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'm just going to cut a few slices here and put them on the inside. So for that, let me just go ahead and go time lapse, so I'm not taking too much of y'all's time. I just wanted to explain what I was going to be doing here so y'all can be aware. Okay guys, now that that's done, I gotta tell you, this tape, man, once it's on there, it's pretty, it's pretty, I mean, I'm not gonna try to force it with all my might, but it's got a lot of resistance to it, so I would have to say that's gonna work. Now, I don't know, it is recommended for outdoors, so I'm sure it's got a heat rating and a cold weather rating, so we'll see how that holds up. I'll keep you guys posted through the months and times. You know, the cold weather's coming in the near future, so we'll see how well these hold up. I'll keep you guys posted, but for right now, these look like they're gonna do just fine. So, I mean, I'm sorry, the adhesive tape looks like it's going to do just fine. So now what we got to do is go ahead and start doing our wiring. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate doing this on the other side. Again, it'll make the video extremely long, but basically it's the same principle. Everything I did on this left driver's side fog light bracket, you'll do on the passenger side. And where we're going to follow up next is where I'm actually doing the wiring now. And for that, it's going to be this kit right here. Now, this didn't come with the fog lights. I'll put the link in the descriptions. The fog lights were separate, and this is a wiring harness that's recommended for similar fog lights. And what you get inside real quick is your basic wiring diagram and your relay information, because it comes with the relay, and it comes with the inline fuse, which is perfect. So that way you're not going to short anything out in your vehicle, or there's no risk of a fire hazard. And basically simple instructions where all your wiring goes. It comes with a long cable, your toggle on and off switch, your relays or fuses, and your inline fuse adapter, and then your positive and negative connections. So you can basically plug it directly into your battery, which makes things a lot more easier. And with the inline fuse inline fuse, it's a very low risk of shorting anything out. And you also have, not to mention, don't forget, you also have the let me see, because I don't see it, it's probably buried in all the wiring. There it is. And you also have your relay. So chances of this causing any damage to your vehicle are highly impossible. You've got too much in between your full source of power and your device which you're connecting, which in this case are fog lights, and you got a lot of protective precautionary measures taking place in between. You've got your relay with an open and close switch, which is basically your active and inactive light, and then you also have your fuse. So like I said, you can't go wrong. So it comes with a very long cable. And remember, you're only trying to make it go from your steering wheel column area through your firewall and where the battery's at. So you don't really need a whole lot of cable. So this is more than sufficient. So anyway, let's continue on, guys. We took care of the fog light adjustments and how we're gonna mount them. Okay, now we just need to follow up with the wiring. So let's go ahead and proceed. Okay guys, here I just want to go over the connections I made on the lights. As you can see, the kit comes with these connector pins. Basically you just have to connect them, and on the end of this cable you're going to have your relay. Okay, and then from your relay it's going to go to your positive and negative on your battery terminals, and then the last sequence is this cable that'll go through your firewall and up to your dashboard area, so you'll have your on and off switch. Now I'm doing a voiceover at this point because there's some construction going on around my neighborhood, and it was just extremely loud with the trucks passing by and whatnot. But as you can see, all the cables are connected and ready to go. It's just a matter of connecting it to the battery, and then of course from the battery through the firewall for the toggle switch up near the dash by the other controls you have, like your windshield, your blinkers, your lights, that kind of stuff. Here I'm putting the camera to show you that I'm going to mount all the cables connected already. So by doing so, I'm just going to mount the fog lights in the back and then run my cables from left to right to reach the passenger side fog light connection, and then in placement for the fog light on the passenger side. So it's going to kind of go in this sequence here. I just want to show you guys the process and how I did this when it comes to running the cable. And then once that's mounted there, I'm going to go ahead and just take my cables and run them up through the engine firewall area. You know, tuck in the cables where they need to be tucked and secure them where they need to be secured with zip ties and whatnot. And then from that point, we'll start the connections on the battery terminals and through the firewall. And that's pretty much how it's going to look. Looks really nice. And this is the rest of the cabling. See, it's not a whole lot. The kit helped out a lot to make things a lot easier. Okay guys, now we're down to the part where we've already installed our fog lights, we've mounted our fog lights, we've wired our fog lights. Now we just got to go ahead and adjust the power cabling. So this is going to be the switch that goes inside through the firewall. I'm going to deal with that later. For right now, I'm going to find a spot where I want to mount the relay, which will probably be let's see here. I think I'm actually going to want to mount it right about there, or anyway, I'll figure that out in a minute. Just wanted to show you guys that basically now we're at the point where we're going to go ahead and connect our positive and negative leads. I would do these last, you know, apply power last, but basically it'd be positive, negative. And then of course I'm going to figure out where I want to mount my relay. And then the last thing is running the switch inside through the firewall, which I'm probably going to run it around the same that I ran my power. As you can see, I ran my power to my amp, and then I had to go through the firewall to take it inside. Let's see if I can focus on that a little better. Yeah, I'll probably just run it through there and then run across this way and then mount it somewhere there where I have easy access to it. So okay guys, I'll go ahead and continue on. We're almost done. Okay guys, so here's where we're at. I got all my power connected. I got my negative. I got my inline fuse. It goes into my positive. And then I have my relay mounted over here. And then I went through the firewall. As you can see, if I zoom in a little bit, that cable right there went into my firewall. There's like a rubber grommet that all the electrical cables go through. I just cut a small slit and ran my cable through. And if you come around the other side, see if I can get under here for you all. Let's see. And I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. Let me get my flashlight real quick. Hang on. Okay, and so if you look up to the very top of the firewall, where's it at? Well, you can't even tell. It looks factory finish. It's right underneath there. That's that cable. I'll see if I can point it out. See, it's right there, that cable. I got my hands tied right now. I can't do both. But it's this one cable just resting down, the black one on the screen here. Okay, that black cable right there. So now that comes down from the firewall. And I connected it from here. And then here's the, all right. And then here's your switch. Now, let me show you that it's fully functional. All right, so like right now, it's not powered on. So let's go see what's going on in the front. Completely off. So now let's go ahead and hit the switch. There you go, indicating it's powered. And there you go. That's the driver's side and the passenger side. So yeah, that pretty much finishes it up, guys. The last part of it now is for me to go ahead and let me shut these off real quick. Oh, and by the way, since these are rated at I think it was 30, shoot, I'll put it in the description, but the amp that I'm using is a 3 inline fuse amp. I'm sorry, a 3 amp fuse, because these are rated at 30. Anyway, I'll put it here in the description somewhere around here so you'll see what I'm talking about. But basically, I'm going to explain the wattage per Foglight, multiply that by 2, and also that'll give you the total watt. And then you want to make sure that for the watts that you're pulling, how many amps it's recommended. These are rated at 1.2, so 1.2 and 1.2 obviously is 2.4. That's why I'm running a 3 amp. But I'll put a little link right here, or not a link, but a little description of what I'm referencing. But for right now, guys, I'm about to finish this off. I'm gonna go ahead and mount this about, I don't know, I'll find somewhere here to, somewhere here to put it and sink it in, and that way I just have access to it anytime I need to power on, power off. I'll probably put it about right here. Probably put it about right there. Sorry about all the traffic noise. They're doing a lot of construction work around our neighborhood, and they're just tearing up the roads, and it's just real loud. But aside from that, guys, that's going to complete the video. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, thanks for watching. But that's new fog lights for the Kia. All right, guys, peace out.